again. If you've been with us before, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, we are Alan Presents. I am one of your hosts. I'm Alan. This is my co-host. This is Leanne. And as you've already seen from the title card, which will have already been put up before now, we are doing a vintage reactions video today. Ooh. So a little while ago, we had a request to do an ECW, or we had the idea to do an ECW event, and we requested some of the viewers of our videos to suggest some. We had the suggestion of Heatwave 98. It's been a little bit of a time coming, so thank you for suggesting the show for that to the person who suggested it. It has been a long time coming, but life happens, time restrictions happen, things get out of hand. But as this is going up, it's nearly 25 years to the day that this event aired. We are the 1st of August, this is going up. The 2nd of August, 1998 is when this event occurred. So we are nearly 25 years to the day to this event. So that we thought that would be a nice thing. So yes. we had some time to do it. I think it was in June, but we figured we'll keep it for now to celebrate the anniversary of ECW. And as such, this week's content for our channel is a wrestling takeover with ECW Heatwave and obviously SummerSlam predictions and reactions. Yeah. Speaking of which, if you want to check out our SummerSlam predictions and reactions, our predictions will be up on Thursday. Our reaction will be up on Sunday. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're getting those notifications. That way you'll know when our predictions and reactions go up. And don't forget to like the content as well. We much appreciate it. So this event had aired 25 years ago, nearly to the day, as I already stated. It was from the Hara Arena in Dayton, Ohio. It was the first Heatwave pay-per-view. I think they did 3, maybe 4 in total. And they had 4,376 fans, 6 matches, around about 2 hours and 40-minute runtime. Now, Leanne's never seen ECW before.
Seen like little bits here and there.
You've recognised some of the wrestlers though,
yeah.
Some of the talent on there, so that's cool. As such, we because this is a past event, we're not going to do predictions because it's already occurred. That would be kind of stupid.
Yep.
So this is all now going to go over to Leanne to take it away. Let's go for it.
Bum, 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 bum. Okay, announce team gets announced first.
Yep.
And they're pretty cool. You've got the main guy who I think you were saying is the staple.
Joey Styles.
Styles, and he's the play-by-play announcer, and he seemed like very fun. And he's announcing his guest commentator.
Yeah.
Who, so I don't know if they'd usually do this, but this is the ECW heavyweight champion who's on the commentary for the event.
Shane Douglas is the champion of the commentator at this point, the guest commentator with Francine. So he is the ECW champion. Yes. The heavyweight champion of ECW. Unfortunately, he has got an injury. So I think this was a way to say, hey, look, Shane, we'll stick you on TV. Yeah. We'll make sure the fans know you're still champion. Just come and do some commentary, do some interviews and all this kind of stuff. That's probably the way they looked at it and the way they thought of it.
Keeping him relevant. And it's a cat.
It's kind of similar right now to the G1 Climax tournament, which is taking place in Japan from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So Kevin Kelly is the main guy. He's there with Chris. I can't remember this guy's surname. It's Chris. Fantastic commentary team. Kevin Kelly had to do maybe 4 or 5 shows on his own. And he made it a point to say, look, usually we get some of the wrestlers to come out. They'd help me do the commentary and all that kind of stick. But because of the way the G1 Climax tournament is, he didn't want to sort of take away any downtime off those guys, so he ran it solo. So he kind of made a point of going, look, we usually bring the guys out. We usually bring them out to be a part of the show. Unfortunately, we're not going to do this time. And that's kind of reminded me of when they brought Shane Douglas out. Was, look, you're the champ. We do want to strip you of the title. We want to keep the title on you. Let's just have you come out and do some commentary instead.
I do apologise for the giant cat head appearing on the screen. He's part of the show. Yeah, so the first sort of key moment of the show, and something that I think really set the tone for me, was when Shane Douglas and Francine, they get into the ring as they're being announced. Francine kisses Shane Douglas and he just like drops to the floor in a faint. Yeah. And then I knew exactly what type of show this was going to be.
So it's a 90s show.
Oh yes. Well, 89, but it's sort
98.
of 98. Sorry, getting my
the other way around.
9s and 8s are all around. Yes. So
one quick thing before we move on with Shane Douglas. He's actually the longest reigning ECW champion in the history of the company. 406 days he held the title, and that is part of this show now, is where he's the champion for 406 days.
So that record's partly because of the injury, meaning you can't defend, I suppose. But,
Yeah.
not to take away from the accolade.
I don't know if they had that rule in ECW. I mean, ECW doesn't really seem to have many rules in general.
I'm so sorry.
She has cat allergies and has a cat.
It's not my fault.
One other quick note: ECW, a lot of people will know it as Extreme Championship Wrestling. Did you know, Leanne? Fun fact: it didn't used to be known as Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Oh, is it East Coast Wrestling or something like that?
Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Championship Wrestling.
And then it became a bit more hardcore with Mick Foley, Terry Funk, Public Enemy, and that in there. And then they decided to rebrand it as Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Was it part of, because obviously the territories was a thing in American wrestling, and was Eastern Championship Wrestling one of the territories?
I'm not 100%, but I would believe so, yeah.
And then as that sort of dissolved and things became a bit more national.
I think the ECW used to be part of the National Wrestling Alliance as well. So part of the NWA, so... but yeah. Okay, anyway.
Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at the first match. And you're going to have to help me if I get names wrong or any little details. Because, like you said, I don't know nothing.
She don't know squat.
I don't know nothing. So we've got Justin Credible versus Jerry Lynn.
Say the name again, but break up the first name and last name just so our viewers know.
Justin Credible.
I love that name.
Justin Credible. And Justin Credible comes out with Jason, the sexiest man on earth.
The self-proclaimed sexiest man on earth, The sexiest man alive.
Nicole Bass.
Yeah.
And Chastity.
Yeah.
So Nicole Bass is massive. She's
huge. She was a powerlifter, a bodybuilder.
That doesn't surprise me.
But it's no surprise, but she was a literal powerlifter and all that kind of stuff.
There was one of the commentators did say, I'm surprised she's not called Russia because she's so much bigger than China.
Shade thrown at WWF.
I like that one.
And I can say that, WWF.
Yes.
Because at this point it was WWF and Stone Cold Steve Austin was champion.
So I didn't get a lot of sort of play-by-play sort of spots in this one, but something that I kind of noticed, which I don't know if it was part of who these wrestlers are or just the era or ECW in general, is that they're doing moves that we see quite a lot, but they seem to happen faster and with more impact.
Now, ECW back in those days was kind of the forefront for the cruiserweight kind of thing. WCW had its cruiserweight division, but that was kind of based around what ECW doing. They had the fast guys, the Eddie Guerreros. So back in like 96, maybe early 97, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, I'm going to say the name, Chris Benoit, they were part of ECW. They cut their teeth in ECW before heading to WCW and then furthermore into WWF, WWE. So those guys came in, it was like the lucha style, and ECW kind of pioneered that in the States. And that's kind of where it started. So it was that frenetic, kinetic energy kind of boom, 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 constant. As opposed to these days, it's like, boom.
Bit more sort of choreographed.
Boom. You know, it was a lot more frenetic, and it was still quite new at that point in that sense in the United States.
And it's just so impressive to watch. And half the time you can't really keep up with what's going on. It's just one thing after another. And
Jerry Lynn, I'm not sure how long he's been in the business at this point, but they did mention Justin Credible was 24 years old. That's pretty young in those days.
Yeah, that's really young. Even these days, there's, it's the rising stars, those like extra special people that seem to be in the spotlight that age.
Referencing to AEW, recently signed Nick Wayne, who's 18 years old.
Yeah. So it sort of takes a special kind of skill at that age.
Isn't Austin Theory like 23, 24 now, and he's been in there for a few years. He's in NXT. He's a current US champion in WWE.
So the young guys that are coming up, they either come in and sort of fizzle, or they're like big names right from the start. It's crazy.
And it's that's the thing as well with the Performance Center, NXT and so forth. That kind of thing wasn't really as big back then. You had independent wrestling schools. You had Killer Kowalski running schools and people like that running book. WCW did have the power plant, but that got shut down after a couple of years because it really wasn't doing much. So,
back then, you really had to put the time in and earn your way through and work it. And not to say that the younger guys making it now do, but there is a little bit of a route to fast track if you've got that skill, where there might not have been so much back then.
And then you look at today as well, a lot more is known about body shaping or performance or cardio and all that kind of stuff. stuff that might not have been known back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, so you look at a lot of the guys in this roster, they're not particularly in fantastic shape. A lot of them are like half and half. I'd say it's about a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Some of the guys are like really toned and jacked. Others are just like me. You
Just
know,
regular looking
like a
dudes,
normal
yeah.
looking guy off the street.
There
Yeah.
isn't really an in-between so
No.
much. Yeah.
No. Anyway.
Yeah, that's like something really interesting that I noticed. So it sort of comes to the climax, I suppose. You've got
G1 climax, sorry.
interference from Justin's entourage.
Yes.
Which results in something
so much.
that you won't see in wrestling today.
Hell no.
Jerry Lynn, Tombstone's chastity. He also hits Nicole Bass, but I mean,
Yeah.
she can take it.
Well, he blowed Nicole Bass
Yeah.
as well.
It's just so good to see, just the. I know it doesn't hurt as much
It's
for women,
yeah.
but it is still.
I mean,
hurt.
it's equality in that sense that if you're a woman getting in the ring to face off against a man, then it's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that does still happen on the independents.
Yeah.
But not so much in like WWE or even AEW.
Mhm.
It does happen semi-frequently or semi-sparingly on Impact Wrestling, but
There's so much sort of that there are connotations to certain things that you would have seen in this match, which you would not get away with it today.
Yeah.
But it's the times, and like you say, Chastity came into the ring and started attacking.
yeah,
So
yeah, fair game.
it's self-defense.
Jerry Lynn was
right?
there. As a side note, I don't know what the WWE Network version of this is like. It's probably going to have a disclaimer at the beginning. I have a copy of this back from previously, before the WWE buyout on DVD and whatnot. So we have all the original music, which is great.
Yeah, good stuff.
So Fear Factory is Jerry Lynn's music. I think it was Grindcore or something like that, doing Snap Your Neck for Just Incredible's theme song. Just those theme songs I remember watching on DVD and being like, oh, this music's great. And I think ECW is, and wrestling in general, in WWE as well, to some credit, kind of got me into the heavy metal kind of scene. So
Rock and Wrestling Connection.
Yeah. Well, the Headbangers come out wearing Marilyn Manson t-shirts, and I'm like, what's that?
Let me get it. So to finish off, Justin Credible hits Jerry Lynn with a low blow and then tombstones him from the top rope, which is
Brutal.
scary
It
looking.
looked nasty.
Okay. Justin pins Jerry and wins.
That rest count is so quick as well. I was like,
So quick.
1, 2, 3.
But
It's like, there's no 3
consistently
Yeah,
quick.
it was. It's like, there's no 3 seconds, pal.
No. But it's got that tension.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's good stuff. So yeah, that's that one. Anything else you want to say about that match?
No, it was a great opener. It
Yeah.
certainly set the standard and set the
for
pace
sure.
for the show.
Not
Full
that this crowd needs warming up.
No.
My day.
The only other thing I said I had on here was full speed ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
I know there was a dark match on this, but I can't remember I know it was Ian Rotten and Balls Mahoney, but I can't remember who they were fighting.
Okay.
But that obviously wasn't on the show as
No.
well, because it was a dark match.
Dark matches.
Yeah. Bane of our existence.
So next we've got Lance Storm versus Chris Candido, who comes out with
Tammy Lynn Sitch. So if anyone watched WWF back in like the mid-90s, you'll recognise Chris Candido as Skip of the Body Donners, and you'll recognise Tammy Lynn Sitch as Sunny. Ooh, there's a train wreck of a human being.
Watch Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh
if you're
yeah, there's a
interested.
Chris Candido, Tammy Lynn Sitch episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Go watch that.
It's very
But, oh
interesting.
my word, that's amazing.
Ooh, the whole show's good.
It's,
Anyway.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
No.
But willing to be.
Yeah, well, we just want to let all of our wrestling viewers know that there's some great stuff on Dark Side of the Ring. You should go and check it out. It's a good show.
If you haven't already,
Yeah, it's a
which
good
you
show.
might have done.
Anyway.
This is hard hitting is one way to put it. We've got Lance Storm. I don't know exactly how he did it, but literally throwing Chris Candido over the top rope onto the concrete, unpadded floor.
Splat.
Painful.
That's actually the noise it made, wasn't it? It was like splat.
It was splat. And then he's leaping over the ropes himself, driving Candido into the crowd over the barriers. These guys have absolutely nothing to do with their safety in mind when they're doing this.
They wanted to put on a great show for the fans, and that's what it was about.
Yep, and they did.
Mhm.
They very much
Mhm.
did. we had interference from Tammy, who gives Chris Candido some powder in order to throw in Lance Storm's face, but instead there's a counter and he gets it in his own face, which leads to a whole string of events.
Oh god, yeah.
So while the ref's distracted, Tammy pushes Lance Storm, who's on the top rope, so he gets, what is this? They're calling it crotched, so I think that's the way, on the turnbuckle.
So you're on the turnbuckle, and kind of...
Yeah, you can, you know. We don't need to explain any further. I'm sure everyone can visualize it already. And then I'm not entirely sure what happened, but Candido rolls up the ref.
Yeah, well, he's blinded, isn't he?
He can't see.
He's blinded, so he's rolled up the ref thinking it's Lance Storm.
But in the process, I don't know, he's flailing his arms around and Tammy's top gets, like, her dress gets ripped down.
I think it's the ref was trying to get Tammy out the ring, and as Candido rolls him up, he kind of accidentally kind of caught onto the dress and pulled straps, is what my
so she's like this.
Is. Yeah.
The crowd's going nuts.
We're gonna get to see some puppies, as as Joe the King Roller would say.
And the boos when someone comes out and covers her up with a jacket.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think that might have been the head of security.
Yeah, quite possibly. it's a sign of the times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that happens. The crowd is booing. Lance Storm hits a blonde bombshell. No, Candido hits a blonde bombshell to Lance Storm.
Yeah.
Apologies. Rolls him up and pins to win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess
Candido
wins.
This was Tammy Lynn Sitch's first showing back after being fired from WWE, after getting into an altercation with Sable backstage.
There was quite a pop when she came out.
Because Candido comes out on his own, then all of a sudden he's like, and then she comes out and it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, it was a great show for both guys. Lance Storm did go on back to WCW after this.
Okay.
I can't remember what year he went back. After this, he does team up with Just Incredible to make a tag team called the Impact Players.
Ooh.
Then he goes to WCW. After that, he goes to WWE or FE. I think he's got his own wrestling school these days.
Oh, nice.
And he's very opinionated on Twitter.
Oh.
Sorry, he's very opinionated on X.
X. Although it still says Twitter everywhere on that.
You think about Tammy Lynn Sitch again.
You know it.
Anyway.
Oh, goodness me.
But yeah, Chris Candido was a fantastic athlete, and it's a shame that he died.
Yes.
He took a bad bump in a cage match in Impact Wrestling. I think it was in 2006, maybe 2007. Broke his leg in 2 places. The surgery went fine. Told not to travel. He flew to Orlando anyway for the show, and ended up having a blood clot that killed him.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
It's tragic.
Yeah.
I guess his thought was just wanted to keep working and keep giving the fans what they want. And it had fatal consequences.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Okay then. So the commentator is surprised when he's told that they're now going to show a segment from the parking lot earlier.
Yeah.
He's very much a I don't know, it's such an act, isn't it?
He's in the moment. He's like, he's as oblivious as the fans are.
Yeah.
I think he's going for that kind of thing. He's like, oh, this is happening now?
He's got his script, and the people in the back are telling him something else is happening, and he's not happy about it.
Yeah.
It's great. So we
Joey's
go to
fantastic.
a recording from the parking lot earlier before the show. That's what he sounds like. When New Jack is standing surrounded by fans, and he's calling out. Hang on, Rags has distracted me. He's calling out the Dudleys and
Jack Victory.
That one.
Because Jack Victory and him are supposed to have a weapons match.
That one. So he's talking about stuff. Trash talk and things.
As New Jack does.
Of course, Jack Victory attacks, along with the Dudley Boys, which is where I got that from.
Yeah.
Ian Rotten and Bulls Mahoney drive up and get out the car and come to New Jack's aid.
Hardcore chair swinging freaks.
Yeah.
Ian Rotten's from England. He's from Newcastle.
Ooh. It very much looks like a real brawl because there's just chaos and the cameras everywhere and there's people flying around and you don't know if there's fans trying to get involved or something.
That's part of the appeal for it though. It makes it look more realistic.
It really does.
I did put this sort of further on down, but WWE, even AEW, Impact Wrestling, all these are just statically straight.
Yes.
They don't do any off angles. They're not afraid to shoot odd angles at this.
I'd made a note about this in my like general observations as well. That shaky cam that makes it feel more like it's like a fight being filmed in someone's back garden or something, rather than a structured show.
Yeah. It's not like one of the part of the tag match later on with Sabu's in it, and he's laying on the mat or whatever. He's looking up outside the ring, and the cameraman kind of zooms in, and the cameraman literally does this. All he's doing is zooming in on Sabu, and it looks really cool. It looks dynamic. It looks different.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be utilised more.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do think that.
And there were parts where, I can't remember which match it was, they were in the crowd, and so the cameramen were following them in the crowd, and as they were trying to get a different angle, you could see, like, the cameraman's legs, because it's in the moment. It's not going to be clean cut.
And that part where you see the wire runner straight in front of the camera, is like, whoop!
Because it makes it feel more real. They have to react to the situation, and they're not always going to be in the right place at the right time.
I like that feeling. I think it's great.
It's more raw and realistic, I guess. Good stuff. Okay then, after the parking lot stuff, we go to a promo from Bill Alfonso, Rob Van Dam, and Sabu, who have a match later on. And they're calling people out. It's fun.
Yeah.
So Bill Alfonso seems really annoying. My brain kind of phased out whenever he was talking.
There's a story I'll tell about Bill Alfonso in a little bit when we get to that match.
Okay, let's move on then.
Needless to say, have you seen that meme? And it's like, and at this moment, that's when he knew he had effed up. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, the next match we've got Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. Yes. One of my main comments on this match is, ooh, the unprotected chair shots to the head.
That first one, he just swings for the hills, and you're like, oh, that was difficult to watch.
So this is before all the research into concussions and things. So they knew, like, getting hit in the head might make you dizzy.
Yeah.
They didn't know the long-term effects. So chair shots to the head, totally fine.
It's actually a former wrestler that did most of the research for this. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's a blonde guy. It'll probably come to me after we finish recording. I'll put it in the text screens like that. But he became a doctor of this kind of stuff, and he researched fully into it, and he pioneered the change in wrestling for this and other sports.
Yeah, I can imagine like seeing your colleagues go through stuff like multiple concussions and the effects of it. Someone had to figure it out and start looking into it, and it's going to be one of those guys.
And again, I'm going to bring up the name again. I'm not going to go fully into it, but you know where the first person where they thought, hang on, maybe these concussions are where it's leading to brain damage?
It's Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Tragic story again.
Yeah, again, Dark Side of the Ring. Anyway.
But yeah, chair shots. Ooh.
They were friggin' brutal, man.
Not just chairs going to people's heads either. There was Tanaka had a chair. Oh. He like goes right up the ramp to like the entrance and then just charges all the way down.
Choo-choo.
And then the chair just collides with Awesome's head. So it is a chair shot. But it was also the whole weight of a person.
I thought you were going for the table shot for a minute.
Ooh.
The table spot.
I can't even remember. Oh wait, I do have the tables. They also had a chair fight where they both had a chair swinging at each other, and you can just imagine the impact on the hands because they are steel chairs.
Salad steel chairs.
Salad steel chairs. Gotta get that lettuce. So the table I think is when Tanaka throws Mike Awesome over the top rope.
Yeah, I think it's a power bomb. I think.
Through the table, and like through the table onto the concrete floor, and it did look a little bit ouchy.
The way he landed was like, oh, you see
either
the replay,
head or neck.
You see the replay, you kind of roll into it, and it's like okay, but the first initial viewing is like
which is why we like those fun camera angles because you get the most impactful shots.
There's plenty of impact in this match. Neither guy was holding back. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oof.
So for the finish, Tanaka arranges two chairs, like heads facing each other.
Yeah, the top of the chairs
unfolded,
kind of...
so like flat. One of
unfolded?
Them folded. That one flat.
Oh, that confused me. It's like a steel chair. Is it folded or is it unfolded? Oh my god, what's going on? I'm having an existential crisis over steel chairs. What's going on?
Everything is fine. One of these chairs is extremely dented from headshots. And then Tanaka hits a tornado DDT on Mike Awesome
From the
onto
second
the
rope,
chairs. Which I feel like was probably even more painful for Tanaka, but it's okay.
Yeah, he landed back first, so I guess it kind of the small. It's like if you had a paper cut yourself, that hurts more than if you have a long cut, because of the concentration of the pain in small amount of nerves.
Ouch. Yeah, well, Tanaka wins.
So, slight tangent, Leanne.
All right, let's go.
Pop quiz. What's the forbidden door?
Oh, the forbidden door is when two wrestling promotions, or more than two, work together when previously there'd been an unwritten rule that they shouldn't because of competition and all sorts of things like that. In AEW, they work with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
They worked with Impact Wrestling before as well.
Impact Wrestling. And they call it opening the forbidden door.
Do you know why I asked that question now?
Because Masato Tanaka is from Japan.
Nope. Okay.
That's a good guess.
Mike Awesome.
Mike Awesome.
This all has to do with Mike Awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
So I think it was around 2000.
Mm-hmm.
It must in the late 1990s, early 2000, maybe mid 2000. Mike Awesome was ECW champion.
Right.
Wasn't satisfied with his pay.
Okay.
Instead of talking to Paul Heyman or Paulie Dangerously, the guy who runs ECW and owns ECW, he decides to sign a contract with WCW.
Oh, so breaking his contract essentially.
Breaking his contract, right? Paul Heyman files an injunction allowing WCW not to slag off or bash ECW, probably because of the Medusa thing. When Alundra Blaze, Medusa, when she took the WWF Women's Championship to WCW, chucked it in the bin.
Right.
Paul Heyman probably didn't want to see that happen again.
Yeah.
So, as such, they agreed to have Mike Awesome come back, who's a contracted wrestler to WCW at this point, okay, to an ECW show to defend his title.
Right.
The person he defends it against isn't signed with ECW. He's not signed with WCW. He's signed with WWF.
What?
Taz.
Oh.
Paul Heyman reaches out to Vince McMahon, the WWF, and says, look, we want to save face. We want to do this respectfully for the fans. Can we borrow Taz?
Oh.
Yes, you can. So you had a WCW wrestler defending the ECW title at an ECW show against a WWF wrestler. That's true forbidden door back in the day.
Yeah, that's crazy. That would have been unheard of.
How?
Thanks.
How? Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Taz pounded him into the ground.
Yes.
And then lost the title, I think it was like 5 or 6 days later, something like that. To, I'll put a pin in that one. Okay?
Stay tuned. All right then. Talking of Taz, we now go to
segues
backstage, where Taz delivers a promo calling out Bam Bam Bigelow, he'll be facing later.
Right.
Then staying backstage, we have another promo, this time from the Dudley boys. There's so many of them.
Oh yeah, it's Dudleyville, isn't it? So.
And also a doll. We'll come back to that as well.
Pin in that too.
Pin in it. Okay.
Funny enough, my pin and your pin are kind of related.
Ah, nice. Yeah. Stay tuned. Next match then, we've got Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki versus Rob Van Dam and Sabu for the ECW World Tag Team Championships.
Oh, I've lost my notes.
Alan has no notes. This is fine.
So yeah, Sabu.
Yes.
And Rob Van Dam.
Amazing.
Sorry, I gotta get that in. There's not many times you're gonna be able to get that in.
No, exactly. First note I've written, Sabu is crazy. He's crazy.
I thought the first one you've written is goddamn whistle.
The whistle. Yeah, so they come to the ring with I've forgotten his name.
Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso. He's blowing his whistle constantly. I guess he's the trainer, so
yeah, he's like the trainer, manager.
But it's like
used to be a referee.
All the way through.
Yeah.
And it's so shrill. It's like a proper gym whistle. didn't like it very much. It was loud. It felt like at one part of the match, either it stopped or I got used to it. And then I started noticing it again.
Oh, damn, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if it stopped or not. Because
I think I just started blocking it out, yeah.
And then I started noticing it again, and it was the worst.
I think he was kind of in the background, maybe gone to the other side of the ring, and then they went outside, and then he starts blowing it again, and it's right there, and it's like, damn it!
So loud.
Swallow that damn thing, as Joey Styles said.
Yeah, Sabu was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Before the match starts, I don't know. I think he was trying to get at the other team before the match started.
Oh, yeah, he went to the fight.
So then, like, the ref's trying to get... It's like, one of you start, one of you go out. And then he's like, yeah, but attack, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can get him. But eventually he goes out to the side, so Rob Van Dam will start. But even being on the outside... And this is something that sort of he built on throughout the match, was whenever Rob Van Dam and one of the opposition team were anywhere near the ropes, Sabu was like reaching and grabbing in to try and get him, either being crazy or trying to get that interference in to get the advantage, or just trying to get him.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it comes to play even more later on, where he was on the outside and Rob Van Dam was doing something in the ring with someone, and they went near the outside, and he just dives across, trying to, like, as if he was going to grab the opposition's legs to stop them doing something. But it didn't happen, because even though it's not the spot, it was like he was trying to show that he's still going to try and do it. It's not like he's just waiting for a spot. He doesn't waste any time, any like moment or opportunity. He's going to be trying to do something. If it's not the spot, it's not going to work. But he's going to, it's not going to look like he's twiddling his thumbs waiting for his moment.
Yeah.
Which you don't see that.
Sabu...
Everything is deliberate now, and if there is an interference spot, it's either going to work or it's going to get caught out in a significant way that adds to the narrative, rather than they try something, it doesn't work, that's fine, you carry on.
Yeah. Sabu is the nephew of the late original Sheik. Original Sheik was a legend, and I have no doubt that he got his information from his uncle.
Yeah.
And he's very underrated, Sabu. Like, when he turned up at AEW, I thought, oh, here we go, this is going to be fun. And then they barely used him, and I was disappointed by that.
I think he's probably can't go much anymore. I don't know,
I really wouldn't bet on that one if I were you.
But I might have to be a bit more careful. I don't know these days.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I wouldn't bet that he can still go.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't bet against him.
I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. And I don't know if I ever will. So.
I'm going to have to show you some more Sabu stuff.
Yeah,
like, there's parts where, I think I've mentioned this before, where he's been in barbed wire rope matches, and he's gone to kick someone, and he's caught his leg on the rope, and he's literally ripped open his thigh. And he's just screamed about Alfonso, get me some duct tape! And they duct tape his leg up, and he continues the match. And I think he did the same on this part of his arm as well at one point. So he kind of gets caught, and he just kind of gets really annoyed, and he rips it out, and it was so deep it didn't even start bleeding. Get me some duct tape! Carries on the damn match.
You can just imagine when they had to take that stuff off.
Now you understand why they call him homicidal, genocidal, and suicidal. Because he's crazy. He's brilliant.
So good. And then on the other side, you got Shinzaki, who really amazing stuff. I don't think I've seen someone walk the ropes for quite as long as he did. Because it wasn't just from the turnbuckle to the middle and then jump off. He went from the middle on one side and then to the turnbuckle and back onto the other side.
He literally walked like half of the side of the ring, half of the ring on the ropes. Yeah. Anyone who watches early to mid 90s WWF, Shinzaki is Hakushi. You'll recognize him from his Japanese script all over his body, which is not tattooed, it's actually drawn on.
So he has to do that every time.
And he had it every single
match. The skill. My goodness. He must have someone to do it because it's all over his back as well. So someone,
It's probably maybe he's got a translator. I don't know if he speaks English, so you might have a translator, or maybe I can't remember the other guy's name. Damn it. Hayabusa. Maybe he did it. Hayabusa. Maybe he did it. I've not seen much of Hayabusa.
No.
Shinzaki I'm familiar with. Hayabusa not so much.
No. Well, that look is really effective. Just, I don't know, something really intimidating about it. And I don't know, it's great. So, something I learned very much about ECW fans is that more than any other wrestling fans, they want tables. They want tables every match, which is fine, but they also were very fussy about how the tables are used, it seems. So there was a table set up, presumably for a planned spot, but something wasn't right with it. I don't know, it's sort of...
I think the legs just kind of buckled
The
or
legs
something.
buckled, so someone got onto it and it just fell down.
Because I think he kind of flipped it over and he was kind of like bent out of shape.
Yeah.
And...
So it's a bit weird, but the fans were not happy because it's the wrong kind of breaking for a table. So they had to get some more tables and do it properly, which they were happy about. But yeah, so some fussy fans.
Yeah.
But it adds to the fun, doesn't it? It's like a pantomime, but a really brutal...
I didn't keep an eye out for the straw hat guy. Do you know we always talk about green shirt guy?
Yes.
ECW had 2 fans that would always sit in the front row. One always had a straw hat on. I can't remember. I think the other one had a Hawaiian shirt, or it might be that kind. But there was always the 2 fans. They'd always be together.
Nice.
And they'd be out almost every single show.
I didn't notice any straw hats, but I wasn't looking for it, so might have missed. All right, the finish then. So...
Oh, there was that spot when Sabu or someone was taken out. I think it was Shinzaki. And then all of a sudden, Rob Van Dam just kind of enters from frame right. And it's like, the hell did he come from?
Yeah, I didn't know quite how to write it down because it just appears at the top of the screen.
A wild RVD appears.
As if someone's like flung him from a slingshot.
It's almost like, I think he must have catapulted himself onto the top rope, jumped off and twisted in midair. And then, because he nearly went the full length of the ring.
He got some serious airtime in this match. He can fly.
He gets frequent flyer miles, clearly.
Yes, for sure. All right, RVD and Sabu get, I think it's both, no, who was it? Was it both the guys?
It was both of them, yeah, it was both of them.
Hayabusa
on the one table.
Shinzaki onto the tables. I think it was 2
tables. No, it was one
Was
table.
One?
There was half on one, half on the other.
Oh, yeah.
Or one and a half, one half.
They both get on the ropes on the opposite side and then like dive onto them. I don't know if it's leg drops or they sort of just
I think
jump and
RVD
sit.
I think hit a frog splash and maybe Sabu hit an Arabian leg drop. Or an Arabian face buster,
We'll
maybe.
go with that.
Again, the one thing I've got is this is just carnage. It's just constant. It's boom, 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 boom. When it kicks in, it does not stop.
Doesn't stop. Sabu gets the pin and his team win.
Much to RVD's reluctance.
Yeah. There you go. RVD's chill, right?
He's got 420 on the back of his thing, so.
So chill. And it's good. It's fun. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of spots. Okay. I think it's the main event next. It's not the last match.
Technically, yeah.
So it's time for the main event, I think. Maybe. Anyway, so this is a match. It's Falls Count Anywhere in the building. I like that they have to state specifically in the building. No going outside, please. Because otherwise they would have probably.
Yeah, well that's
They've
happened
gone
before.
everywhere.
WWE did that before in '99. Somebody got pinned in the Mississippi River.
Yes. They probably don't have the insurance to cover that.
Boss Man and Hardcore Holly, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Might have been Blackman, I can't remember.
So this match is between Bam Bam Bigelow and Taz.
Yep.
For the FTW Championship, which is like the unsanctioned, unofficial, uncrowned championship, which Taz created for himself.
I know it's something to do with Shane Douglas, but I didn't quite get the full story on that, and we didn't have time to research it before we started recording.
No, but I mean, the FTW Championship is still around today. It's still like a
doesn't look like
unofficial...
it did back then.
No, so it was the Orange Eagle belt.
It was the Orange Gold Eagle, Winged Eagle,
That one.
from WWF,
with
FTW and Taz on the top.
Yeah. It looked pretty cool from what I could see. Didn't get a great view, but you did show me a picture.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. There'll be a picture of it around here somewhere underneath the title card of the match. So.
Yeah. So it's cool. I like that it's still going and it's still sort of got the same the meaning that it had. It's not being like made an official title.
We're not gonna explain what FTW means. If you don't know, incognito tab and Google it.
The thing is, like, whenever I see FTW, I just think for the win for some reason.
It's not for the win.
It's not for the win. Yeah. It's more rebellious than that. you know what? It's going to be hard to pick a worst match. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I love this match.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be a worst match.
You know, it's going to be hard to decide. We always figure out what our favourite and least favourite match is. And I don't think I'm going to be able to pick a least favourite.
Oh, right,
I'm just saying that now because I hadn't picked
the way you worded that then, it was you were saying this match was awful. And I'm like...
Words are hard. Huh? It's a great match. Taz is quite stocky, but not big. Especially not compared to Bam Bam Bigelow, who is a big...
Bam Bam's like 6'4", 6'3".
Tall and wide.
Ex-bounty hunter. Taz is like 5'7".
It's not like... Bigelow's not like overweight or anything.
No.
He's
stocky.
Like big and stocky, and Taz is smaller and stocky.
Yeah.
But Taz can still Samoan drop Bam Bam Bigelow, which is crazy. With
Taz
the size
is crazy
difference.
strong.
He's so strong.
And the suplexes, because he's got that, Taz is so frequently reminding us in AEW as a commentator, because the hips are lower, you can pop quicker.
Yes.
And it's easier to suplex a guy when you're smaller and your hips are lower than that.
Yeah, very true. He's the suplex machine, right?
The human suplex machine.
Suplex machine. I really appreciate seeing some of Taz's work, because I've sort of only known him as a commentator on AEW. So it's great to see where this all comes from and what he was as a wrestler, and he's incredible. Yeah. He's earned every accolade just from this one match, as far as I can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
They ended up like completely in the crowd, like between seats, which usually if they go in the crowd, they're like in the aisles or on the stairs or something. But this is right
there,
right in there, which is great. Bigelow throws guardrails around like they're nothing. They do seem to fall over really easily, but... I
think it's because they weren't secured on one end, maybe.
No, maybe. But they are, like, going into them...
Yeah.
Full body
and they, as you say, they're stocky guys.
Yes,
you know.
Definitely. So, I think I got too engrossed in the match, because I haven't got a huge amount in between this and what I'd say is the climax near the end, if you wanted to drop anything in.
No.
In between. No. They head up onto the ramp. And Taz DDTs, Bigelow through it.
Yeah. It's just like a crash. Where did they go?
Was it these guys that they were showing from the previous match? Where I think it was Bigelow, DDTs, Taz.
No. So Taz had the Taz mission on Bigelow, and he's kind of on his back, because he's obviously got to be up high, so he's kind of got it around his neck, and Bam Bam just kind of drops.
That's right.
And they just straight through the ring.
Punch a hole through the ring. So this is sort of like Taz's revenge, sort of
And
thing.
Shane Douglas on commentary is like, Bam Bam's going to put him through the concrete. And they did the next best thing.
Yeah, they did.
Through the bloody ramp.
Through the ramp. You've got the ref like crawling up to the edge like, is everything okay?
Hello, down there. Hello.
The commentator's like, someone get down there and see if they're alive, and all that drama is amazing. And then you just see a hand coming up, and up pulls Bam Bam Bigelow, and he pulls himself out. I'm like, where's Taz?
I was expecting Taz to come out first.
And they're saying, well, Taz would have been on the bottom of the move, so he could be dead down there.
He would have had all Bam Bam's weight on him.
Yeah.
But like Bam Bam's crawling back to the ring, and he's like, oh my god.
He just can't get up. And then up comes Taz.
It's like the friggin' Terminator.
As if nothing has happened. He's just fresh as a daisy.
He rips off part of this board that's in his way, he climbs up, and he's like, ah!
And he just legs it. He just like charges Bigelow down, jumps on his back, and gets that Taz mission is Bigelow goes down like a sack of potatoes, like a very big sack of potatoes.
Literally just taps out.
And taps out straight away. Taz wins and retains the championship. Wow.
I liked the match. I thought it was great. It was chaos. I do think the ending was a bit too quick for my liking. It was like, you've gone through that, right? You slammed the Taz mission on him. He's tapping now. Like, at least put a bit of a fight in.
An instant tap is always a bit of a sticky thing.
That's the only thing I really didn't like about that match.
Is he really trying? Because especially when there's a title on the line, surely he would just try a little bit to hold on or to shake him off. I know he had gone through the ramp.
Even sort of like just on all fours, just trying to push up and then fall down and then I can't. And then at least put some like a bit of a show into it, you know?
That's a very fair point. Yeah, definitely. So after the match, Taz gets a mic and starts calling out Shane Douglas for the previously mentioned drama that we're not sure what happened. It's fine. And then Shane Douglas throws a TV.
Can you remember what Taz's catchphrase is?
It's beat me if you can, survive if I let you.
There we go. I was like, oh no, she's going to fumble right at the end. No!
It's so good. That's a great, so good. So even if the opponent wins, he might not get out alive.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that, again, because this is the original, it's the original music on it. As soon as Taz's music hits, you were like, oh. It's
very familiar.
A lyricless version of Kiss's War Machine.
Just with that half of the slogan with the survive if I let you sort of inserted in there. It's pretty good.
Yep.
It's fun.
Okay.
Nice. And now we're on to, not the main event, the final match. I don't get it sometimes.
I think it's meant to be like unsanctioned.
Yeah,
so.
in my OCD head, the main event's the last one, but this is okay. Don't worry about it. It's in the past. So the Dudley boys come out. Then
are you going to say about the match first, or who's in the match?
Okay.
Come on, man.
So there's a long
our fans
intro.
Expect quality.
So Dudley boys versus Spike Dudley, Tommy Dreamer, and the Sandman
In
a street fight.
In a Dudleyville street fight.
Dudleyville street fight. My apologies. Although it didn't start like a street fight.
No.
Anyway, we'll get there. So the Dudley boys come out first. There's a whole lot of them. And they're in the ring, and there's this. I couldn't even keep track. They're like calling out. They call out WWF and WCW. Basically saying that no one in those companies could take him. No one in the crowd could take him. They're throwing insults about some things we can't repeat.
Yeah, no. Let's keep it PG.
It's the times. It's fine.
Let's just say there was questions about where Bubba's relation to some fan's mother was the night previous. Let's just leave it at that.
And they've got this doll with them, which has a photograph face.
When Leanne
it.
says doll, she means like a life-size doll, not a tiny little Barbie doll.
Adult.
An adult doll. An adult inflation doll. Inflatable doll.
So essentially, the run-up to this match...
ECW.
I think it was Bubba Ray Dudley.
It was Bubba and Devon hitting the 3D.
They hit the 3D on a lady...
Beulah McGillicuddy.
Thank you. Beulah McGillicuddy. And
who's Tommy Dreamer's partner.
Supposedly broke her neck and meant that she couldn't wrestle anymore in ECW. So this doll has her face on it, and it's Beulah... What was the middle bit?
McGillicuddy.
Beulah...
That's her surname.
McGilla...
Just say Beulah.
Slutty.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's the name of the doll.
So, on that note, right, there was a pin which I forgot to reference.
Oh.
Which is kind of relevant now as well.
Okay.
So, Beulah, I don't know if she's actually injured.
No.
But she does come back.
Okay.
Okay. Going back to the tag team title match
right.
with the whistleblower.
Uh-huh.
Technically, that's actually accurate. Because there was a mole feeding ECW inside information to WCW.
Right.
Someone employed by ECW was leaking secrets to Eric Bischoff and WCW.
Ooh.
Bill Alfonso. They were going to lawsuit him. They were going to fire him. And I don't know who came up with the idea, but they said, look, you can do anything you want. Please don't fire me. Please don't sue me. Do anything you want. They went, all right, we're going to stick you in a match with Beulah. She messes him up so bad. Like, you know, you've seen the phrase, a crimson mask?
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing till you've seen his face. My God, it's brutal. And he friggin' deserved it.
Sounds like it.
Anyway.
So yeah, okay.
Just unpin that.
Unpin. I can't remember what my pin was, but it can't have been that important.
There was one. What was it? Crap.
It doesn't matter. Yes, so Dudley Boys versus Sandman.
I know what it was.
Spike Dudley and Tommy Dreamer.
It wasn't your pin, it was my pin.
Okay, cool. I got quite a lot on this match because a lot happened. When you got a 6-man tag, it's going to be... And I say it's a 6-man tag because that's how it starts. It's not a street fight at the start because the ref has one of each team starting out there. I cannot remember or think how long that lasted. I don't think it was long.
About 5, 6, 7 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I think
each guy had legitimate legality in the ring.
And then
for a couple of minutes, and then it just kind of broke down.
Yeah.
Just literally went everywhere.
So Spike Dudley, if you don't know, is very small.
He's like 155 pounds soaking wet.
Very small and very excitable. He's stomping around the ring. I guess it's sort of a little kid kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Just
little Dudley, yeah.
rude. But how can you not root for him? There's something about it. It wasn't like an annoying way of being excited and kid-like. It was just like, you go, guy.
Yeah.
And he's
like the ultimate underdog.
He was hitting moves on Bubba Ray Dudley.
And friggin' acid drop on him.
It's crazy. And yeah, he gets thrown about the ring. But the good thing about the little skinny guys is they bounce and they've got an extra sort of element that they can sell, because it's easier to ragdoll if you're tiny.
Yeah.
So he really sold it, and yeah, I just found myself really rooting for him. There was a spot where he dives to the outside from the top of a very tall ladder.
Oh yeah.
And he
Which
just,
Sandman and the referee are holding, because
Yes.
that ladder looks rickety as hell.
So rickety.
Looks like a piece of crap.
They clearly they clearly went a bit cheap on the ladder budget. What else have I got for good spots? Sandman delivering a somersault senton to Devon, who is under a ladder at the time.
One thing you did forget to mention was the intro. Oh. Sandman bleeding before the match.
Oh, of course. Sandman bleeding before the match.
Which isn't something new.
No. He drinks beer and then smashes the can against his head a few times.
He does this with the few beer cans, not just the one.
But he was bleeding after the first one. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You need to go. You need to go. Thank you. Getting bitey. What else have we got? So, Bubba Ray Dudley then does, I think it's just a splash or something, onto Dreamer, who's under a ladder.
I think it was a senton, I think.
There might have been a senton, yeah. And Tommy Dreamer's cell job, I've labelled as a fish out of water. He was just flopping
around everywhere.
As if he was sort of trying to use his limbs, but they weren't doing what he wanted. And his head as well. I was like, what? It kind of really funny, but it also was quite effective. Nerve damage.
It's fun that whenever I think of Tommy Dreamer, and there's a pin on Tommy Dreamer, which I'll cover later on. I always think it's the first time he's going to fight Sandman, and Sandman keeps denying him. This is like 93, I think it is. Might have been 94. And he's like, all right, you know what? I'll fight you, but you have to take 10 cane on your back first. Cane smashes on your back first. And he's like, wham! 1. And it's like, oh, that's just 1. Damn, dude. He gets up to like 6, and he's like, you can back out. And he's like, please, sir, can I have another? And then he hits 9, and then Sandman just starts whamming the out of him. And it's like, oh. And that's how I picture Tommy Dreamer. And when Kurt Angle went to the ECW arena, because potentially he was going to sign with ECW, after being rejected by WWE for not having a contract that says he'd never loses, Raven crucifies him on a cross. And Kurt Angle was like, yeah, you show me on this show, I'm going to sue your ass off. So don't put my face on your show. I don't want to be part of this. Paul Heyman didn't know Raven was going to do it.
No. Whoops. What else have we got? So Sign Guy Dudley, first start had some pretty great signs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Rex has found his toys. And he's also got a very broken leg. It's apparently broken in 2 places. They're also talking about other potentially
like
not real injuries also. Including a deviated septum?
Yeah.
Which is completely unrelated to the leg. Anyway, he does take a figure 4 on the good leg.
Yeah, so. Dreamer puts it on.
Ouch. And then maybe the most fun spot is, it looks like they're going to do what you were saying is going to be a 3-way skateboard.
Yeah. So Tommy Dreamer tend to... Oh, I mix it with RVD. So a skateboard is when you're running with the chair,
right.
You hold it as you drop kick it.
I see.
That's RVD. Dreamer would do the baseball slide kick. Yeah, that's right.
So they end up having the 3 from the Dudleys team in...
So that's Big Dick, Bubba Ray and Devon.
And then also managed to get one of the others.
It was Jeff Jones, the crooked ref.
crooked ref in the tree of woe on the other corner. So you got 4 guys.
The referee's helping Sandman put him in
Yeah.
a tree of woe.
They put a chair in front of each one. And now there's only 3 people in Sandman's team, so why not have the ref join?
In comes the ref.
And they all just do what was it?
It's like a basement drop kick.
Basement drop kick, that one. Just in unison, right into the corners.
Beautiful.
I've never seen that much ref involvement.
It was like synchronized wrestling.
Mm-hmm. But since the crooked ref and sign guy had been getting involved, the ref kind of why not? Everything's legal.
Well,
anyway.
they kind of took the mick out of him, saying he was a referee actually has hair.
Yeah. That's
So
funny.
fair enough.
And most of the refs in ECW do seem to be heavily balding, but it's a natural part of life. It's fine. But yeah, that was really cool. For men, it's okay. Okay, so for the hang on, yeah, this is the finish. I'm getting confused because there's more that happens after the finish. Dreamer hits a DDT on Bubba, who is on a ladder, and then pins him to win.
On the ladder as in it's flat on the ground, not
On top of. Yeah, that would be impressive to do a DDT onto someone who's on a ladder.
So let's quick sidebar on that one with the
Okay.
pin. Okay, so I got my pin. I'm going to pull it out. Tommy Dreamer.
Yes.
Okay. Staple guy, ECW through and through, bleeds ECW, would do anything for the company. Right?
Yeah.
Remember I mentioned about Mike Awesome earlier on with the title and Taz won the title. Who beat Taz for that title, do you think?
Tommy Dreamer?
Do you know who beat him after that? To win the title off Tommy Dreamer? Just Incredible.
Okay.
Do you know how long after?
Not long?
About 5 minutes after. Effectively, for all intents and purposes, Tommy Dreamer never won the ECW heavyweight title while ECW was ECW. He won it when it was WWECW.
Right. So after it got bought out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. But he was happy to still go in the history books as champion. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of tragic.
Yeah, it is.
Because he bleeds ECW. We do anything for that
Yeah.
company. He'd be in the back, and him and the Dudleys especially, they were the merch guys. If you ordered merch from ECW, chances are one of them guys had put it in the box and sent it to you.
Oh, that's dedication. And then for it not to be, like, rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's, yeah. At least he got
But
something
then,
after.
to be fair, how many ECW champions can you name me?
Well, me, none.
But you know Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And Taz, kinda, a little bit.
Well, Taz was ECW champ.
There you go.
I literally just said it like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I have a terrible memory.
Continue.
Anyway, so after the match, Jack Victory attacks Tommy Dreamer, and then New Jack shows up with a trolley full of stuff. So a shopping cart in America, shopping trolley over here in Britain. He literally throws the thing. I mean, trolleys here are not light.
I mean,
they're lighter in America.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here. There's a New Jack episode of Dark Side of the Ring. He was nuts. Yeah. He numerous times almost killed a guy. He literally took a knife into a wrestling match and started stabbing a guy because he didn't like him.
And like, considering this ring is already full of people, he throws this trolley and you can see like people ducking out the way, trying not to get hit by the thing. And there's bin lids and bins and all sorts of things just being thrown around, and I don't even know what happened. It's chaos.
Yeah.
It's great though, but chaos.
Yeah.
And that was the last match.
Okay, so what was your favourite match? Just do that one first.
Okay, my favourite match, I think, is really close. There's a lot of wild stuff, but I think it was the tag match with Rob Van Dam and Sabu versus Hayabusa and Jinsei.
What was your close second?
They were all close seconds. I'm not going to be able to pick a word.
No, that's fine.
Really
yeah, mine would have been the tag title match as well.
Yeah, it was great.
It's RVD and Sabu in their prime.
Yeah,
you know,
it was amazing.
If I had to pick one, I would probably say the Dudleyville street fight.
Yeah.
Sandman didn't really end up doing much, and
No,
it looked
that's
like he was
true.
a bit more out of shape than usual. Not to rip on Sandman or body shame or anything, but he just kind of looked like he was gashed really quick.
Yeah.
That's
fair enough.
And There was some great spots in there, but it was a street fight. Why were they standing on the apron tagging? That didn't make sense to me. ECW is all about the extremeness, the violence, the referee's discretion to let the guys and girls use whatever they want to use. So why in a street fight are you having two guys outside the ring and one inside on both teams?
Very true. Yeah, there we go.
Overall thoughts?
ECW is crazy. It's the palpable passion from everyone involved, from the fans, the wrestlers, the announce team, and the refs. Just everyone is so into it and really putting their heart and soul into their part. You can just see how everything clicks together and makes even the camera people, you can tell, they're just with the camera angles and just like trying to get the best shot and making it seem real. It just all fits together into something that people can really get into and relate to. And it just feeds that cycle of it builds the crowd up, which builds the teams up, builds the crowd up.
Yeah. It's energy feeding energy.
Yeah, it's something that, like we were saying, you won't get this level of thing today. No. The closest that I've seen is AEW, but it's still it's a lot more tamed down. Partly because a lot of the stuff back then you wouldn't get away with now. The sexuality and the complete lack of safety. But it's, we've got that, but I feel like I need to watch a bit more ECW just to get the fix on the real passionate stuff.
It'll be fun because they bring in some more characters, Danny Doring, Chris Chetty and Nova, the Mad Amish Roadkill. They have an Amish looking wrestler and it's weird, but he's huge, but he's great.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Kid Cash, I think, was part of it. Rhino was part of it. It's fantastic.
Everyone just seems to be having fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And that's what makes it great.
It's a shame it went down the pan when it did, unfortunately. And unfortunately, like, there has been a thing about Paul Heyman and he wasn't paying people because he didn't have the money for it. They weren't making money at the end of the sort of the life cycle of the season.
A different kind of vicious cycle, isn't it?
Yeah. But anyway.
It's a shame.
Anyway, take us away, Leanne.
Excellent. Thank you so much for watching.
I am molting more rags.
Everyone molts in this house. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you liked it. We appreciate you being here, and seeing those likes just shows us that people like what we do and we can keep doing it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Follow us on socials. Our link tree's in the description below. Gonna get my words mixed up. We're on X, Instagram and Facebook, so find us on our link tree. It's also got links to our most recent videos in different categories, so check that out.
Sorry, I just X is stupid.
It's so stupid, I'm sorry. I hate it. Join in the conversation. Is there another ECW event that you'd like us to do one of these of? Were you at this event back in the day? Let us know your thoughts.
Maybe not the Mass Transit fan cam show, because that might be a bit much for Liam.
I've seen the Mass Transit event, the incident. So I already know about that one anyway. But yeah, talk to us. We're happy to chat, and we'd like to hear your thoughts. Anything else before we go?
Nope. Yeah. What's next?
Next is SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
So stay
Even though looking
tuned.
out your window in Britain, you wouldn't think it was summer.
I know. Everywhere else is burning, and we are drizzle. Drizzle. So keep an eye out for our socials, and if you hit the bell, you'll get notified when we drop our predictions and our reactions. Great. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay extreme.
Extreme.
But not X. It sucks. Bye!